then
hold one target and you want to get
true.
out. Like usually you do that and you force stuff out, but if the disruptor does that for you, I mean, you're happy. I guess it depends on.
I mean, I guess in that situation,
on.
like kind of both teams could be happy, right? The clock's like, all right, well, that's all right for me. And of course, the disruptor side's like, yeah, I mean, we're fine with it too.
It's nice with a situation where they're maybe on the prowl, catching like a quap, and she's tracked up, and she thinks she can blink away to safety, and then they have the glimpse,
of course,
ready to scout her and pull her right back. So having that extra vision for a glimpse, which has huge range, is very, very nice.
Yeah, well, the Razor and the PL being the last bans here, and Hot 6, I mean, do you think there's something they need to pick, like specifically a little bit stronger against this Lesh, or at this point you just got to rely on your team play to make this work out?
I feel like their last pick should be targeted, but it has to be a safe lane core now. And Husker would have been their go-to. I think it would actually been really good in this game.
Would you like Juggernaut here?
Juggernaut is a pretty decent idea.
Okay.
I could definitely see that. You need, when it comes to Lesh, like you said, it's either you go in and you burst him down really hard, or you need to have someone who can just kind of sustain against Lesh. So Juggernaut kind of does both. You can Blade Fury against the spells so you don't get killed, and you can burst him with Omnislash. And Ursa, kind of the same idea. You can cast Enrage to outlast Lesh, and you can burst him down with the Overpower. So I would like to see one of those two. I actually think Ursa could really catch Team Empire off guard. Now, the risky thing is that the synergy with Clockwork is not that apparent, because... But anyway, you want to get a Blink Dagger in Ursa, so you'll probably be okay. This is a very important pick. I think it has to be a really good one for MVP to be able to fight Empire.
Now, just as a reminder, of course, it's not good enough just to win one map for Empire. So, I mean, they looked pretty content. Of course, this draft, I mean, I don't think anyone would be complaining about the picks that Empire got. But
I don't know, he just flashed through my mind.
Yeah, you got the vehicle there with your Clockwork and Queen of Pain.
It is possible. He has not been picked yet.
I think it was actually against Hot 6. It was eHome going against Hot 6. They pulled out, so maybe they're going to remember that.
maybe.
They have two vehicles for him. They have Clockwork as well as the Queen of Pain that could carry in the Lifestealer.
Even Snowball Tusk can bring
Snowball
the party.
too, yeah, that's true.
That's something.
There's actually a lot of ways to bring in.
That's a new vehicle for Lifesteal.
But it's the Juggernaut.
It is going to be the Juggernaut. I mean, again, one of the options you guys were considering. So Hot 6 deciding, all right, we'll try to kill two birds with one stone.
It's also really nice for Jug to match up against Disruptor lineups because he can actually avoid the Glimpse as like the only carry without items. There are like super situational exceptions like Chaos Knight perfectly timing Phantasm as we've seen Aero do in the past or something like that. But generally, Juggernaut a very solid pick because often what you run into when you're playing against Disruptor is you want to go push a tower with your carry, but you're scared because the moment you start moving back, if Disruptor is there, he will catch you off guard and bring you back. But with Juggernaut, you can actually push as much as you want. I do believe, yes, there's actually not a single spin TP counter for Empire. So he can push really aggressively, and as soon as he sees the gank coming, spin port out.
Wraith King is really good though at dealing with this the Omni Slash. You can just run in and you're not afraid to tank it up.
That's true.
Usually you have all these calls where when you see the Juggernaut coming, you have to really be very careful. But if you are Wraith King, you just run in and just go and try and get a stun before he gets a spin off, and your teammates can actually follow it up if you get a stun off.
All right. Well, game one, once again, Empire, they do need to get a 2-0. Dakota, do you think they'll be able to start it off with a 1 here? Just looking at the draft, I mean, it looks pretty favorable.
They got Lesh, so
yeah, exactly.
Looks good to me. So, but I think it's good. I love the Wraith King there at the end. As Winter said, you can pretty much go in there and
Be the tank.
Be the tank and not worry about really throwing away too much. You have that second life to come back with. And there's a bit of lack of disables, I'd have to say, on the side of Hot 6, too, or reliable lockdown.
Just to be sure I'm not missing anything here, MVP Hot 6 have nothing to gain.
Yes, correct.
If they
even if they go 2-0,
they do. They have to salvage their pride.
That's true.
Okay.
They're
That
playing
is true.
for pride, but as far as
That is very
advancement
true.
goes, even if they 2-0, they would be tied with Newbie for points. But that doesn't matter because they're 7th, 8th anyway. So it's about who
I
picks
believe
who.
they would be 1 point behind even after the full update.
That could be.
We do have to double check.
Yeah, you might be right. I might actually be looking at something that's not updated.
Got to do it for the MVP fans.
Well, we have a
maybe
pause
the
here.
ladies that are watching. You never know. If you do a impressive 2-0 stomp against Empire, it might second guess them choosing.
Well, that is
a valid
true.
point.
That is true. I mean, it doesn't change anything on paper, but it is going to change how people view you,
Could have
whether it's the
implications
fans or the
otherwise.
other teams. So definitely something on the line. Like, it's not like Hot 6 is just going in here with nothing to lose. We are going into game one. It is Empire fighting for a chance to get into that upper bracket.
Dota.
I
Yes.
was trying to say
Doter.
dirty Dota, and it kind of mixed together to make Dirta.
I think you were just trying to do a Toby impression.
Dirta.
Yeah. That's pretty close, right?
No,
I think people who are watching would
Toby's
understand.
more of a kind of like a dough. It's a dough, not a dir. Dirta 2's not down south. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game. Hot 6 versus Empire about to kick off. If you're joining us from the mainstream, I'm sure the experts have already been through the fact that Empire need a 2-0 victory here to manage to get themselves in a position where they could look for the upper bracket.
Aloha Dance.
Jerax with the sentry in the dust. They're going to go for this one. Aloha Dance trying to tango through, but there's a Heen and a Forev, and this is going to be your first blood. Jerax there. Hats off to him, getting the sentry down in time. Very nicely done there by the side. And Hot 6 off to a good start. And, well, Empire, they've got to be careful. They need this 2-0, and it's not going to happen with plays like that.
Giving away the first blood, obviously not the way you want to start the game, but it should be kind of known by now that a lot of these teams are adapting to that bounty hunter kind of rotating into the jungle very early. Like, everyone does it. And eventually it's going to be like what happened to Courier snipes, where first, like, maybe for a week or so, bounty hunter was able to snipe Courier pretty easily, and then people just started realizing that it actually just happens every game, so they changed the way that they play before the creeps actually spawn. This is a perfect example of that. Like, they just sense it coming, sentry's down, they just see the hero, they get a free kill.
Indeed. Aloha Dance is going to do what a lot of bounty do. Hang around this mid lane, help out Resolution at the start. I mean, he's a Lesh anyway, so it's going to be a very strong mid lane nonetheless. And already, just like a couple of hits in MP. It's not nice. He's got the backup of Jerax here in this lane, so we are going to see kind of a 2-on-2 for the time being in the mid lane. Your bottom lane's got Yoku, of course, on that solo off-lane Shaker, dealing with Forev on this jug. He's going to be there with a backup on the Dazzle. And Sun, once again, we saw him earlier play this clock in the newbie game, and I've got to say his clock performance was pretty impressive back in that game. He got a lot of farm very, very quickly. Had the Active Blade Mail in a very reasonable timing, so we'll see if he's able to do that again this time. And of course, we've been through it before, but Always Wanna Fly is there on the Disruptor, backing up Silence Wraith King.
I feel like in this offlane, somebody should actually get a decent amount. Like, getting glimpsed back into a Wraith King stun is kind of scary, but the thing is with Disruptor is he's not actually that high damage dealing of a support. His nuke is very good per point, but most Disruptor players are always going to go 1-3-1, so you don't actually scale the nuke. More often than not, like pretty much what Sunby is doing right now, he's just literally walking into Always Wanna Fly. You're going to see a lot of that, just to make sure that he can stay in experience range. And this could be another one of those lanes where if he gets to like level 4 or 5 unobstructed, he could at the very least force out glimpses in a way that Always Wanna Fly is not going to be able to use them when he's running away and try to go for a kill. But this is a good timing. They can try to kill him here.
They're moving in onto Sun. They'll drop down the kinetic field. He is stuck up. He'll get the cogs, actually forcing Always Wanna Fly across. And now with the glimpse back, bringing him back on the right side of the cogs for Empire to start hammering away at him here. They're going to need to look for the body block, and Always Wanna Fly trying for it. Isn't quite able to get it off. They'll have another stun in a second, but no, not quick enough. As Sun's able to get himself out, has got the salve and the clarity here. Bottom lane, he with a haste rune, moving in onto Yoku, now with the Blade Fury as well. Yoku, he's in a lot of trouble here. Will be able to get out the Fissure, and he's going to look for the TP. Not going to be enough there with a heal bomb from Heen on the Dazzle. They will find themselves the second kill yet of the game, Hot 6.
A really nice rotation coming in there from Heen. Very uncommon for Dazzles to skill Poison Touch at level 2. I mean, obviously it's situational, right? Like, he got it because he got the haste, and he wanted to make sure he could get the kill. So very nice heads-up play coming in from him. And the meantime, like, MVP, they're still getting a decent amount out of this offlane still. Sunbee's level 3, 2.5 minutes in. And we saw, even when they all into this hero, they still didn't have enough damage to kill. And Sunbee didn't even have a Stout Shield at that point. He just had a Ring of Protection. But here comes Aloha Dance. Maybe they're going to try to commit to him one more time before he gets too many levels. But the Wraith King is so far away. Like, all they can really do is just harass him a bit.
If he comes up with this creep wave, which he just might do. I mean, Sun has been playing very confidently on this lane. And Empire, they're going to want to take advantage of that, if possible. And here we go, moving in. This might be it. Here we go with the slow onto it. They have got the glimpse and the kinetic. Oh, he's not actually got enough mana here for the kinetic field, but with the stun and the right clicks, as tanky as the clockwork is, it's not enough. And Empire now getting themselves on the board there with the first kill. Mid lane Resolution trying to go onto Hot 6 MP, and he's going to do it. He might pay off his life, but ticking down will fall. It's going to be a 1-for-1 here in the mid lane. And of course, the fact that the Resolution was able to get that kill onto MP before he falls, it will slightly favour the side of Empire. Only just. I mean, it's a very, very even trade.
Yeah, the fact is, when the mid lives, when the other heroes are dead and then your mid dies first, that's always going to be like a losing proposition for you. But It's not like MP is very far behind at all. It's a pretty even exchange. There's like 100 experience difference. The main thing is just overall CS. The CS is really the thing that we always have to be like, okay, well, Lesh he's kind of like a really good mid, for those of you who don't know. It's very difficult to stop Lightning Storm spam. It's on a 4-second cooldown. There's no way you can really deny against this hero, especially if he's bottle crowing, because he just has so much mana he can spam for days.
I mean, look at this push from Forever and Heen. They're going to get the tier 1 at 4 minutes in. I mean, this is a little bit of an issue here for Yoku. Yoku himself, he's found level 4 on just a little bit ahead of, in fact, the Sun Clockwork. Mid lane still, MP. He's actually, he's got the bottle coming out to him again, being fueled back and forth. But not having a fun time against this Lesh. And, of course, the farm for Forever going to look very tasty. They're just going to look to continue on to the tier 2. And this is a huge amount of pressure being applied.
The thing is, they know that Empire can't realistically rotate to try to kill a Jug Dazzle. Like, those two heroes are very difficult to commit to. Like, maybe you can kill Heen, but there's pretty much no way you can kill Forev.
Just look out. They're behind the tier 2 at 5 minutes in.
Like, what is Empire's counterplay to this? They have a Bounty Hunter and a Disruptor. Aloha Dance is only level 2. He doesn't even have a point and a Shuriken Toss right now, so he doesn't really do any damage, which means that MVP can pressure, and they know he's here.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to go on him straight away here. Aloha Dance getting caught out. MVP's awareness just getting the better at the side of Empire.
Yeah, but Resolution gets a solo kill on MP in the meantime. So even though Hot 6 are pressuring very heavily here, the mid matchup is a catastrophe. Like, it's 26-10 for Resolution and 14-5 for MP, and the Queen has died twice now. Doesn't even have boots.
The Lesh is certainly going to be an issue for the side of Hot 6, but elsewhere on the map, they definitely seem to have the lanes covered. Silence Farm 29 for 12, but it is it's very close to Jugs, but the fact that they've been able to get this tower is, of course, going to put him ahead. I'd imagine the net worth, he's a good 700 on top, in fact, of the Wraith King at this early stage of the game. Resolution, though, as you said, looking pretty good here in the mid lane. I'd imagine their MVP, they're still looking towards this tier 2. Once they've got this tier 2, there's not going to be much more they can do in this lane, and maybe
the
we'll
supports
start
are going
to look for Lesh.
Yeah, the supports are going to move around. Forev might even feel content to rotate with them because he has Omni available. Omni/Snowball is really strong. Top lane, Sunbi getting caught out again here by the tri-lane of Empire. He will fall.
And the rotation from Yoku there, catching the Clockwork off guard. So nicely done there by Empire, equalizing it out. Now it's 4 for 4. But MVP, they're going to find this tower here. And, I mean, tier 2 at 6 minutes in, that's not something you see every day.
Well, again, it's mainly due to the Empire's composition. Their heroes are very low damage dealing. They need so many heroes in the same area to be able to get a kill. That's why you keep seeing 3-man rotations just to kill the offlane Clockwork, because they just deal so little damage that they need that many to be able to guarantee that the hero will drop. And when you're going up against a potential 3 versus 3 when there's Healing Ward and level 3 Shadow Wave, it's just way too risky to try to invest into that, because if you lose that fight, you're going to get even more snowball potential coming out of Hot 6 right now. And killing those 2 towers is probably the best thing that they could have done in the situation, because now Jerax and Heen are looking towards middle lane to kill Resolution.
It's going to be a tricky kill because Resolution does have the backup of Always Want to Fly here. And also Yoku moving in. He's closing in on that level 6 here on the Shaker. And top lane House Sun, has he hit this 6 yet? No, very close as well. We're going to be seeing the hookshot come online for him. And Silent has hit level 6 and has decided, of course, to skill the Reincarnate. And Aloha Dance getting rid of that pesky Sentry Ward that did cost him his life earlier. The 4 for 4 across the board here. 7.5 minutes. And I just want to have an early look at the net worth difference, because I imagine with those towers, we are going to see...
It's not too bad.
Ralph, is it? Okay, it's not bad at all. The farm of the Lesh is keeping them. And Silent, to be fair. Resolution and Silent's farm.
Right. Yeah, the farm individually on the heroes of Empire is just a little bit higher. Their experience gain is also better because they're not committing 3 heroes constantly to the same area. That's the common theme when you have a team that wants to push